fresh. So.
Yeah, I know. It's easily probably the dopest one I have right now.
Has it become your favorite jersey? Is this one?
Dude, it's so sick, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I ordered a 1998 Thierry Henry one too.
Okay.
I mean, because, you know.
What size is that? Medium?
Yeah, it's a medium. Yeah, man, I like my jerseys to fit. You know, I don't like that baggy.
I know.
I don't like that huge baggy boxy jersey, but also I don't like them so tight that your nipples chafe, dude. You can't be having that.
like some of those the old African teams like Cameroon and stuff, and like Puma was making them pretty tight, dude. Those African guys were wearing them
yeah,
tight.
Yeah, but those dudes wear those little trackers and stuff like that, so it covers their chest. Anyway, yeah, so welcome and thank you for tuning in to All Soccer All Day. This is Stevie Mack out in Chicago. With me as always is Eric D out in Los Angeles. What's up, Eric D?
Whoa, what's good?
So we are going to be going through a review of Matchday 15 and 16. We will briefly review the MLS Cup final, and we'll also be talking a little bit about Matchday 6 of the Champions League, and you know, who's going through the final 16 and the knockout stages. It looks pretty exciting, so we'll get into all that. But before we do, want to give a shout out to our sponsor Vaporgate out in Colorado. If you vape, if you vape, this is the place to go. Vaporgate.com. Check it out for anything you need for your vaping needs. Also, if you want to help us out, one of the ways you can do it is you can leave us a 5-star rating on anywhere that you're listening to this podcast. So, you know, you can find us anywhere that podcasts are being played, iTunes and, you know, Stitcher and Spotify, Google Play. You can go to our website, allsoccerallday.com. You can check it out there. So lots of different ways to listen to our show. But again, please leave us that 5-star rating. Even if you don't think we're 5 stars, hook us up. You know, it's all good. We're getting to 5 stars for you. Yeah, man. And then last but not least, always, you know, if you want to help us a different way, you can always go to Patreon, patreon.com/allsoccerallday. You know, we have a great network of support right now, and we can always use more to help produce this content and make it better and better each time. So patreon.com/allsoccerallday. Check it out. Even $1 a month helps. All right.
Word.
Yeah. Okay. So before we move any further, Eric D, you have any news and notes you want to get into?
No, actually, I don't. Not off the top of my head, man. I need to get back to keeping my notes, man. Because I think about these things that come to my mind, and I don't have my pad near me, and I'm just like, okay, I got to remember, and I don't remember.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, there's a lot going on, man. Remember, this is our hobby, man. This isn't our full-time job, so.
Yeah, but hey, if there wants to make it, I am greatly appreciative and waiting with eager anticipation. So
yeah, that'd be dope. So okay, so let's go ahead and let's get into Matchday 15 of the English Premier League. This started Matchday 15 started on Tuesday, December 4th. So we're tracking back a little bit because again they had 2 match days in 1 week because of the upcoming holidays and so forth. So we're going to track all the way back there. We'll talk about the main games that went down, important games, and then, of course, we'll just read over the score lines of any of the other games. So West Ham defeats Cardiff City at home 3-1. Brighton and Hove Albion beating Crystal Palace 3-1 at home. Bournemouth over Huddersfield 2-1. And Man City visiting Watford 2-1. Man City again gets that win in Matchday 15 against Wolves at home. Or I'm sorry, Watford at home. So, the main story on Tuesday the 4th was Man City again getting another victory, really. All the other teams are kind of fighting for either relegation or, middle of the table shuffle, so to speak. Anything you want to go over in any of those games, Eric D?
Not particularly.
All right, great. Moving forward, so the second half of the Matchday 15 was on Wednesday, December 5th, and there were some surprising games in this one. We'll go over the score lines that don't quite affect the top of the tables first. So Fulham and Leicester, 1-1 draw at Craven Cottage. Everton hosting Newcastle at Goodison Park in Liverpool. That's a 1-1 draw as well. Spurs hosting Southampton 3-1. Poor Southampton. We were kind of talking about this before we started recording, that they're taking a beating this year.
Whooping.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the more important games. The first one that I'm going to bring up is Manchester United hosting Arsenal at Old Trafford. Everything that has been said about Jose Mourinho and all this stuff going down, it all comes down to the results. And Manchester United hosting Arsenal is one of the biggest tests so far. It was a great game. I mean, it was back and forth, exciting play, beautiful goals. It ends in a 2-2 draw. Eric D., give us your thoughts on this game. Kind of how it panned out. Is it acceptable? Is it, what do you think?
Well, stop me if you've heard this one before. I think that this is one of those matches where Arsenal probably a little disappointed by the 2-2 draw, and Man U probably happy to take a draw, take the point. Yeah, I mean, like you said, exciting match, back and forth as a neutral. Those are the kind of matches you want. I felt like Arsenal was the stronger side, but in the end, they split the points. I think it's an opportunity loss for Arsenal and, I guess save some kind of face for Mourinho and Manchester United.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty much with you on that as well. And of course, we're not, since we're going all the way back to Matchday 15, a few other things have happened with Manchester United that we're going to get into. But we'll talk about that down the road when we get to it. So the next Matchday, or the next game I'm going to bring up, was Liverpool handling business against Burnley. They're visiting Turf Moor. Liverpool goes in. They get a 3-1 victory. What are your thoughts on this performance? Is this what Liverpool's looking for in order to challenge for the title?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Before I forget, got to mention Allison's quick thinking, throw out to the right there to start the counterattack on that. I believe it was the last goal of the match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, right.
Down the right, Salah played that ball with the outside of his left foot correctly to Shaqiri, and Shaqiri took it kind of on the... Did he take it out of the volley, or was it half?
I think it was a half volley.
And, just beautiful flowing play from back to front. And, those are the performances that Liverpool need to be turning in week and week out if they want to win the title. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. So, the last game of this match day that we're going to talk about is the shocker of the week for sure. And this is Chelsea losing to Wolves 2-1. And Chelsea was on the road. And, man, Wolves got it done. Chelsea falls. Trap game to the max. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've talked about it before. Those are the kind of games that the top teams need. Wolves is not necessarily a bad club, but they just got promoted. Chelsea should be able to go away and handle business and get at least a point. I mean, to lose, it's not good. I mean, it's not, just like with Liverpool, if they want to win the title, it's the same thing with Chelsea. If they want to contend, you got to put away the clubs that you're supposed to put away. And then you drop points, possibly to teams or clubs that you're fighting against. But still, you've got to be beating everybody that's in front of you, but especially the clubs that are not on par with you. It's a bad loss for Chelsea.
Agreed, definitely. So, that at the end of match day 15, some things were in question for sure by then. Manchester United and Arsenal drawing puts Arsenal in question, especially with Spurs getting the victory 3-1. So that definitely changes some things, along with Wolves getting the victory over Chelsea. Liverpool stays up with Man City with their win. But match day 16 changes the face of the Premier League currently. So match day 16 started on Saturday, December 8th, excuse me. And the very first game was Bournemouth hosting Liverpool. And man, Liverpool put the hammer down on Bournemouth 4-0. And Mohamed Salah, man, just tearing fools up. That goal where he took the goalie out twice and then had that cheeky little flick on that left foot to the near post. And Nathan Ake was just left standing there, nothing to do. I mean, it was dope. So, yeah, absolutely filth, man. This is... what if you're a Liverpool supporter, this is what you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for Salah to break out like this, and now you just got to hope that it's consistent. You got to hope that this isn't something that's just fleeting in the moment, because if these guys start clicking like this again, we'll see what happens. And let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that go down that really affect the tables at this point. So Liverpool coming away with the victory 4-0. Are you happy with this? Of course you are, but I mean, tell me a little bit more about tell me a little bit more about how you think this impacts Liverpool.
No, I mean, this is, excuse me, this is the performances that you want to see. If you're a Liverpool supporter and you're hoping to win the title, this is the Liverpool that we've got to see week in and week out, because that's, generally speaking, as we're going to get into it here just in a little bit, that's the Man City that everybody's seeing week in and week out. So, I mean, they're the ones everybody's chasing. So, yeah, Liverpool's got to continue performances like this. I don't know if you necessarily got to win 4-0 on the
every game, yeah.
But it's exciting because you shut out the other team.
You're on the road.
You're on the road. You get multiple goals. I mean, it's as close to a complete performance as you can ask for. So yeah, it's definitely things are looking up. And
by the way, I got to bring this up. Of course, just pure class from Mohamed Salah. Has a hat trick in this game, but refuses to take player of the game and gives it to Milner for his 500th start. And
it shows that he's a class and a gentleman. I mean, it's just like respect.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So really cool stuff there. Okay, let's head over to Old Trafford. Manchester United handled business against Fulham 4-1. But just like every other week, it just feels like I don't know if you trust it, right?
Well, let's put it this way: we shouldn't be going like riding home that Manchester United beat Fulham 4-1. Now, granted, I just pumped up Liverpool being Watford. I mean, and all things being equal and fair, Watford.
Bournemouth.
Oh, sorry, Bournemouth. I apologize. Just beat Bournemouth 4-0, and Bournemouth is definitely Bournemouth's a better club than Watford, so Bournemouth's definitely a better club than Fulham.
Yeah.
But with that said, Man U, this is the kind of stuff that Man U supporters are accustomed to. That's what what Liverpool is doing week in and week out, what Man City's doing week in and week out. That's what Manchester United was doing. That's the Manchester United that everybody knows and their supporters love and everything. It's what they should be doing. But we shouldn't be like, oh yeah, they beat Fulham and they beat them soundly, and so Manchester United's back. It's like, no, they just beat a club that's just not very good.
Well, they beat a club they're supposed to beat.
Exactly.
Right?
And at the end of the day, that's all we can ask for. But, as we'll get into here a little later, I mean, Manchester United still got issues.
Yeah, for sure. I just have to say that all of this with Manchester United definitely sounds like we're throwing like just hate rocks at these guys like every single week, you know. And I have to say though that, you know, they have 26 points in the Premier League right now. They're in 6th place at the table. It's just they're 8 points behind Arsenal in 5th. I mean, the chances of really breaking that 5th and getting into the 4th spot right now are just, I don't know, it looks pretty hopeless. And, you know, with Champions League as well and the results they're having on the international club level, you know, there's also some questions there. Now, granted, when we talk about that in the future, there are some things that are going on. In fact, you know, just saying that Manchester United was already qualified and all those other things. So we'll get into that in a little bit also. But 4-1 at home, they're supposed to get that win. They do get the win. And they have a big test coming up this week where they're playing Liverpool. And so, again, just like Man City before, this is going to be a big test for Manchester United. What do you think?
Exactly. Like I agree with you. Like, if Manchester United is able to come out and beat Liverpool, give Liverpool their first loss of the season, that will instill some hope with their supporters and everything that is with that club. But will they answer the call? That's where a lot of people doubt that. I mean, But it would. Let's this way. Right now, if Man U is to beat Liverpool this weekend, it will be somewhat of a shocker. I mean, there will people be like, and that's surprising to say that, but I kind of feel like, you know, Man U's the underdog here, no doubt. I mean, it's not really something that's not obvious to everybody, but if Man U wins, I mean, it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, totally agree. What's funny about it is still, I think that if they won this game, I feel like the trust and support for Mourinho wouldn't be back still, though. I mean, like, it would be so fickle. It would be so like, oh, yeah, you got a big game win. Whoop-de-whoop, yeah, but no one likes you still.
Yeah, well, and the problem is it all comes down to consistency. I mean, if Man U can't do stuff like that week in and week out, like Liverpool and Man City are doing, then yeah, no one's going to take them seriously, because right now, as it is, it's Man City's race to lose with Liverpool right there. They're kind of neck and neck. As we were talking previously, we were kind of giving it to Man City at the moment because, I mean, they're just far and away better than everybody else, it seems. And then there's kind of the Chelseas, the Tottenhams, the Arsenals that are kind of like maybe pretending to challenge those two, and then you got Man U down there, and it's just like, well, what are they doing?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. So moving forward, let's go ahead and let's cover some of these other top teams. Arsenal gets a victory against Huddersfield at home, 1-0. Let's see, Spurs get the victory over Leicester on the road, 2-0. But here it is, man. The big shocker. I mean, see, I don't know if I can say big shocker, but I will say the shocker of the week, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, 2-0 over Manchester City. City takes their first loss of the season. And, man, Chelsea looked so dominant in the second half. It was just pressure all day, man. You know, what are your thoughts on Man City taking their first loss? Is this a big step down for them, or is just this a little bump and they'll be right back on it? I mean, what do you think?
I think it's just a little bump. I don't think it's a big step up. I mean, it's their first loss. I get it. I mean, now only Liverpool is undefeated in the league, but, you know, Manchester City's got too much quality for this to affect them. I mean, they lost to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was a club that was going to beat them, I mean, it's one of the top clubs in the league. And I think the thing that's more like shocking to me is not that they necessarily lost, but the fact they got shut out.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. But I'm telling you, though, like, in a lot of ways, Chelsea kind of put that roadmap out there and how you're supposed to beat City, at least for that game. But Pep's gonna be too nasty with this, dude. I mean, he's gonna adjust, and I'm in total agreement with you. I think this is a small little hiccup. Quite frankly, I think they're gonna just like pretty much forget about the fact that they had a loss and move forward. Go ahead.
Is that some kind of complacency sets in it from time to time? These players of these big clubs get kind of lethargic, and I mean, you have to think about Man City is on the top of the table. They're getting everybody's best shot. They're playing in Europe. There's so many competitions going on for the top clubs in the world. Like, your schedule is just crazy. So it's like, yeah, granted it was Chelsea, so they shouldn't have been let down. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like it happens. I think, if anything, this proves how incredible it was in, I believe, forgive me, Arsenal fans, I want to say it was 2003 or was it 4? The Invincibles season. I don't remember exactly what season or, the 2 years that it was, the year. But, I mean, the season that Arsenal went undefeated.
I think it was 2003, 2004.
2003, 2004?
Yeah.
It just shows that, I mean, how incredibly difficult that was and how it is. I mean, to, not take a single L.
Yeah.
Pain. I mean, look at Man City. I mean, you and I were just talking about this. I think I shot you a text about it. I mean, Kyle Martino put it out there that Man City basically has the best goal differential as of, I guess, before these match days in the entire history of the Premier League, if I'm not correct.
Yeah.
Not right there. And so, I mean, Man City's, what they're doing is unprecedented. And yeah, they took their first loss, but I mean, it's like, that just goes to show that the competition is fierce in the Premier League.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I do have to say though, I don't know if I buy the City players getting complacent, man. I think that Pep has those guys running on all cylinders all the time. Like, I legitimately think Chelsea just beat them. I think Chelsea was better, and I think Chelsea pressed them the right way. I think the midfield controlled play, and they just continued their bombardment, man.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you there. I think human nature takes over from time to time. I think Chelsea was definitely up for the game more than Man City to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I mean, Man City probably, they played a better first half, maybe thought Chelsea would roll over somewhere and they would just kind of take over. And Chelsea was in the game, to their credit. And in the second half, they put it on Man City, and Man City was just, it's exhausting because you got to remember, these guys are human. I mean, yes, granted, they're the best footballers on the planet. They're at the highest level. But yeah, week in and week out, when you're getting everybody's best shot, I mean, you're going to get fatigued from time to time, and sometimes you slip. And I think that's what this is. It's more of a slip than a fall for Man City. I mean, it was just, if you're going to lose, you're going to take your first L of the season. I mean, yeah, okay, there's worse places to do it than at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. So.
No, you're absolutely right. I don't disagree with you. And so Chelsea getting that win, though, shakes the tables up after Matchday 16 leading into Matchday 17. Liverpool takes the top spot. They're at the top of the tables right now, 42 points. City now just behind them with 41 points. Liverpool is taking on Manchester United, of course, this in Matchday 17. City's taking on Everton, and we'll kind of get into those in a minute, but let's go ahead and let's at least round out the like top 6-7 teams here. So Liverpool at the top, number 1. Manchester City, number 2. Tottenham Hotspur, number 3. Chelsea, number 4. Arsenal in the 5th spot. Manchester United, number 6. Everton, 7. Bournemouth, 8. Leicester City, 9. And Wolves, 10th right now. But just, again, kind of just briefly saying that Manchester United, again, they're 8 points behind Arsenal and Chelsea right now. So that gap is looking like it's probably not going to close. Manchester United would have to go on a pretty great run, and a lot, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal would have to take a pretty big slip for that to, for Manchester United to start really challenging to get in that top 5 spots. So I mean, the things are shaking up a little bit. We'll see what happens. I mean, to be honest, I really, being a Liverpool supporter myself, when it comes to Everton, you generally kind of don't really care, right? But I actually kind of feel sorry for Everton this week. They're playing a Man City team that just came off a loss, and Everton's on the road too, man. They're at the Etihad. I don't want to be in that. I wouldn't want to play that game, man. Like, look, they're the best footballers in the world, of course, so they need their confidence. They're going to go out there. They're going to play the best they can. It's going to be, they're going to put up their best. But, man, I have a feeling that City is going to just hurt Everton so badly, man. What do you think about this game, Manchester City hosting Everton?
Yeah, it has the potential to be ugly. I mean, Everton's a decent side this season. There's no doubt about it. They're not of the class of Man City, and like you said, I mean, Man City just took their first L of the season. Pep wasn't happy with that because, I mean, obviously, Pep is trying to dominate, and he's trying to, set records and get all the accolades and the glory he can. So the fact that they've lost their first, and it's, now they can put it aside, I'm sure he's telling them it's time to destroy. And, unfortunately, Everton's in the target. Yeah,
they're in the crosshairs, man. I feel like Everton's very unfortunate to be stepping into the Etihad this weekend, man, for sure. So I'm going to take, I'm just going to take a 4-0, like, straight up. Just like, I think City's going to come out and just, like, smash some face, dude. What do you got? What do you got?
You went 4-0. I'll say I'll go with 3-0.
3-0. Okay. So now, I mean, look, I gotta say though, Richarlison, dude's in form. Okay, so yeah. I can't, Bernard on their team too. Bernardo. Excuse me on that one, but the other Brazilian guy on their team right now. Excuse me, I want to make sure I got this right. Yeah, Bernard. It's just Bernard, not Bernardo. He's been playing pretty well also. Yeah. So, but he's been playing really well lately, and so if Richarlison puts one away, I mean, it's definitely possible, but that would be the only possible thing that would happen, and other than that, I just think that City's just gonna... Oh, God, it's going to be so... yeah, man. It's the first game, and it's the opening game of Matchday 17. So, I mean, if the Matchday opens up with like an absolute slaughter, it's going to be pretty interesting to, see what the other top 5 teams can do against their competition to try to keep up with what at least I think and you think is going to happen to Everton. So, the other top teams that are going to be playing, Spurs are hosting Burnley. I don't know who you got. Obviously, I'm taking Spurs. I'm sure you are too. What scoreline do you got?
I'll take Spurs, no doubt. I don't know. Is Burnley able to find a goal? I don't think so. I'll take Spurs 3-0.
3-0. I'm going to go 2-0. But, yeah, I definitely think that could get ugly, too. I don't think Burnley is going to score. So Spurs at home, 2-0 for me, 3-0 for you. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's see. As the other games, by the way, Crystal Palace is hosting Leicester, Huddersfield hosting Newcastle, Watford hosting Cardiff, Wolves hosting Bournemouth, and Fulham hosting West Ham to round up the first half of Matchday 17. Obviously, the main game that we're watching here is Man City and seeing what happens on their rebound after the loss, seeing if Spurs can put away Burnley and make sure that they're being dominant. Other than that, again, it's that fight to stay out of relegation / mid-table shuffle at that point in time, right?
Yes, no doubt.
So, moving on to the second half of this match day, this has 3 of the top 5 teams in the league playing on match day, the second day of match day 17, which is Sunday. Chelsea's on the road against Brighton and Hove Albion. I still have Chelsea coming up with a win, but I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1. I think Brighton finds a goal, but Chelsea comes away with the victory. What do you think?
I'll go 2-0 Chelsea.
Okay. The next game, I mean, quite frankly, I feel bad for Southampton too. Arsenal is coming to town. I mean, dude, Southampton's just been getting worked lately. I don't know. What's the scoreline you got?
Gosh. Is this game at the Emirates?
No, it is not at the Emirates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Arsenal's on the road. They're visiting, but yeah.
I'll go 2-1 to the Arsenal.
Oh, dang, you saying Southampton finds a goal, huh? All right. I'm going to say Arsenal's going to... I think they're going to keep a clean sheet. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. And last but not least, Matchday 17, the highlight game. Liverpool hosting Manchester United. Anfield ready to... I think they're going to just bring it, man. I think that they're... Liverpool's running off a high of qualifying for the round of 16 in the Champions League, beating Napoli at home 1-0. And Manchester United losing in their match day 6, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So they're on the road visiting Anfield. I mean, again, as you were kind of talking about previously, Liverpool seems like the clear and obvious favorite. It would be quite a shock at this point in time if Manchester United comes and beats Liverpool, much less even drawing, frankly. I like right now I'm going to say that the scoreline is going to be 3-1. Liverpool is going to take it. What do you got?
Whoa.
Yeah, man. I think that Salah right now is playing like a beast. I think that Mane is going to be in good form right now. Firmino's poaching like crazy. Shaqiri's coming off the bench scoring. I mean, like, there's too much. And their defense right now is on lockdown, man. Not to mention Allison, who's just like, that the goal is his house right now. And you're not coming in, dude. That insane save in the Champions League was just remarkable. So, yeah, I think 3-1. I think Manchester United do find a goal, but I think Liverpool dominate. What do you got?
It's a tough one, man. Feel like we're definitely homers from time to time with this. I mean, there's no denying it. I'm going to take Liverpool to win 2-1.
Okay.
But I would not be surprised if this game ends in a draw, or even if Liverpool take their first L of the campaign and Man U somehow gets the victory. Because you got to remember, this is it's derby, a rivalry. It's funny things happen in these matches.
I mean, you're right.
Man U's got. At the end of the day, Man U still has incredible talent.
Oh, for sure.
Can they put it together? Are they in the greatest form? I don't know. But just like Man City slipped up against Chelsea, I mean, it's not far-fetched to see Liverpool slipping up against Man U. I mean, I hate to say it, all my Liverpudlians out there, don't kill me, but yeah, it could happen. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. As far as being homers, I totally feel you. We do our best, I believe, to be as non-biased as possible, but I think I would make this call either way. I mean, even if I was not a Liverpool fan and I'm doing my best to be non-biased, I still do think Liverpool is going to come away with this victory, and I think they're actually going to handle business, man. So, again, 3-1 for me, 2-1 for you. So we'll see what ends up happening. Matchday 17. It's every single week matters in the Premier League. And it's one of the reasons why this, in our opinion, at least in my opinion, is the best league in the world. And, dude, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You have anything else you want to go over in the Premier League before we just briefly glance over the Champions League?
No, I think that's about it.
All right, cool. So, moving into the Champions League, this is Matchday 6. There was, honestly, most of the groups were already decided. So there wasn't a whole lot of parity, honestly, in this Matchday. There were some beautiful goals, that's for sure. But, again, things were pretty much decided before Matchday 6 even started. But the big games that went down, number one, of course, we're talking about Group C, PSG, Liverpool, and Napoli. Two of those teams were getting in. One was going home. PSG was playing Red Star, and they just put a beating on Red Star 4-1, which sends them through. And of course, so the big game is Napoli visiting Anfield against Liverpool, and Liverpool had to get a win, man. And they pulled it out. And it was a great game. Liverpool with the victory. I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think that, in Champions League wise, do you think that Liverpool is looking pretty good? Or do you think it's kind of shaky, like they're kind of backing into the round of 16?
Well, mama, there goes that man again. Mohamed Salah saving the day. I mean, they got through. They just squeaked through there. I mean, granted, they got it done, and they were able to keep the shutout at home against a very good, a pretty good Napoli side. When it comes to Champions League, Liverpool hasn't been very convincing of late, but got to remember that they're fighting on these two fronts with Champions League and the Premier League, and it's very, it's very intense.
Yeah, it's taxing, man. It's taxing.
Yeah.
Let me just throw this out there before you continue. I have to give props to Jurgen Klopp for managing how he's been playing his team. It's clearly been effective, and they've clearly been getting those points, going back and forth between the Premier League and the Champions League, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it's good squad rotation, I guess, to a certain degree. I mean, he tends to keep playing a lot of his, week in, week out. You kind of have an idea on who the starters are going to be. Alisson's going to be in goal, and Van Dijk's going to be back in defense. Probably Robinson's back there as well. You got Salah and Sadio Mane and Firmino up top. So, I mean, there's not necessarily a lot of moving pieces, but, I mean, getting guys in key spots from time to time, it's definitely crucial. So, yeah, no doubt. The important thing is that they qualified, they're through. Now it's on to, the knockout round, and I believe the draw is tomorrow.
I thought it was on Monday.
Is it on Monday?
I think it was on Monday.
Don't listen to me, folks. I'm just pulling these things out of the sky.
I'll go ahead and double check exactly when that is here in a second. It's the 17th, I believe. Yep, it looks like it's 17th.
Okay.
So, that was a main game, Matchday 6. Everyone was looking at Group C and seeing what was going to go down. Again, Liverpool gets the victory, so PSG and Liverpool go through to the round of 16. The only other game that, I feel was of consequence again was Valencia beating Manchester United 2-1. And, Valencia hasn't been playing that well in La Liga. I think they were like 15th place or something like that, like mid-table right now, I think. And Manchester United is, again, the thing is that they had already qualified, and we have to keep that in mind. So they were already through. As well as Juve, they were already through also, and Juve lost also. But it's just like, there's just like a different cloud, like shade over Manchester United. And especially this game, it was a big deal about Paul Pogba, because he's been, apparently there's just been a lot of clash going on between those two, Mourinho and Pogba. Pogba wants to know why he's not playing. Mourinho comes out and is like, okay, this is the game that Pogba needs to show me, like, why he needs to be out there. And Pogba has frankly, like a bad game, man. Like, I was watching and he was just not producing, man. And losing possession, I don't know, man. Like, not looking good there for Mr. Pogba.
Yeah, he doesn't have his mind right. Something's going to happen there. Either Mourinho's going to get sacked or they're going to transfer Pogba or something eventually, because it's just like, you can't have a player like that not playing.
Right.
Pogba is a guaranteed starter in almost any other club. And, the fact that he's coming off the bench or whatever's going on there is just makes no sense. But then again, Jose Mourinho has his special quote unquote qualities. So
he's a special one, man. He's a special one.
So, who are we to second guess and to judge? You see these performances from time to time. When a club is through, when they've qualified, they have nothing to lose. A lot of times managers will start a lot of reserves.
Right.
And guys, rotational squad players, whatever, because, they don't want their starters to get hurt, or they're just giving them rest, which makes sense. It's like, if there's no consequence of you not qualifying, then, it's like, why risk it? But, yeah, it's not surprising to me, believe it or not, that they lost. It's just kind of like, that's just how it goes. It's these teams are going in through the motions. Granted, it's Man U, so we're always like looking at it like, oh, here's another bad look for Man U. But I think in this case, it's just probably I don't know how strong. I didn't look at the lineup for Man U, so forgive me, but I don't know how strong that lineup was. But, even if you're playing most of your starters, maybe they're just not motivated. Maybe it's just going through the motion. So it's a wait to see. Let's put it this way. In the next round, in the knockout round, you'll have to get serious. You're going to go home. So
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So, the draw again on the 17th, we're going to see what happens there. It's going to be pretty exciting because, hey, man, I really do feel like, if anything, the Champions League, when it gets to the knockout round, it's always the top teams that end up qualifying, and it's always the highest competition, man. That's like what it's there for. And
it's real.
Yeah, it's the real deal, man. Like, I can't wait to see how Juve and Ronaldo do in this edition of the Champions League, dude. Like, what drama is that? And how about Messi, dude, in the form he's been in? Those 2 free kicks? Dude, get off his nuts, dude. It's ridiculous, man.
All right, forgive me.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, man. I hate to say this, but it almost happens with such regularity, so frequently that it's like, this dude does stuff where you're like, dude, that's so dumb. Like, it's so stupid. Like, this is ridiculous what this guy's doing. But you're just like, yeah, that's just Messi. Like, okay, yeah.
That's just how he rolls.
Like, not even impressed anymore.
Dude, it's crazy. I know. I agree with you in a lot of ways how you feel about that, just because, yeah, man, he just produces so much amazing talent. Just like just every week in, week out. It's ridiculous.
Okay, I'll put it this way: when I was younger, I think Stevie knows this, but I mean, I was a big Chicago Bulls fan for all those in Chicago. Obviously, in the heyday of Michael Jordan, we're not worthy. If you watched enough Bulls games, I mean, Michael would do stuff that was incredible, obviously, but it became so routine. Like, there were times when he would shoot, and I'm like, oh, that's money. You know, just because it's so frequent, you know, like it's routine, so automatic. And that's kind of how it is with the greatest players that play whatever sport they're playing.
Right.
They're just, you know, like, okay, for you, Aaron Rodgers, he just pulls off these throws week in, week out in the NFL, and it's just like, that's ridiculous. But it's just, that's vintage Rodgers.
It's just what he does. Yeah, I know. Messi, he just has I don't know. It's truly amazing to watch him play. So now, again, just parity in the Champions League for sure. I mean, you got Messi with Barcelona, you got Ronaldo with Juve, you have Man City coming in, you know, obviously hot, dominant, amazing club right now. You have Real Madrid slipping and sliding all over the place. Like, what's going on there? Same thing with Manchester United. You have Paris and Neymar and Mbappe and Cavani, and I mean, it's just all the big players you're ever gonna want to see, and all the big matches from all the big clubs. There it's at. You know, there it is. Mm-hmm. So amazing stuff. I'm really excited for when the draw goes down. We'll definitely have to cover what the next games are going to be. You know, the round of 16 and how that's going to go. But before we kind of wrap it up here for this episode, do you got anything else you want to throw out there?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. First, MLS Cup.
Oh, dude. Dude, I totally spaced it because honestly, like, when it comes down to it, like, I think we had already just, like, we just knew who was going to win.
Oh, man. Did you just throw shade at the MLS? Not kidding.
Dude, I mean, like, in a way, I kind of did. Like, we knew. Like, dude, you're visiting Atlanta in the MLS Cup final? Come on, man. Like, we had called that, you know, long before. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I'll give my take, and I'm sure Stevie Mac will have kind of the same. I mean, the MLS Club was amazing in certain ways. Not all of them were necessarily related to the play on the field, but Atlanta United, first of all, congratulations. They win their first title in only their second year of existence.
Yeah.
And like I've told you before, I'm not sure how I quite feel about all that. There's a lot to unpack there. But they do it with a crowd of almost I think 73,000.
Yeah, it was 73,000.
Yeah, broke a record for MLS. Amazing atmosphere. I'm not too crazy about the aesthetics and the optics, the way it looks. Mercedes-Benz Stadium's weird for soccer, like on TV. There's like the touch line, like one of the touch lines you down the bottom, you can't really even see it.
Yeah.
And I don't like turf. I know you rage about turf. I play on turf from time to time. I know you play on turf a lot there in Chicago, but I'm just not big. When it comes to professional soccer, I'm not big on the game being played on turf.
No, I hear you on that. You know, I would totally agree with you on that. In professional soccer, I want to see grass for sure. But I don't know. For me personally, because of my knee, I got, turf is just what's up for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, getting to the game, Atlanta United, I mean, they get the first goal. Joseph Martinez rounds the keeper in the end. I mean, it's kind of, I want to say it was more of a mistake by Portland, but, great heads-up play by Michael Parkhurst. They get on the board there. And then the second goal is more just, a set piece that Portland didn't track very well. And I believe it was it Escobar that got on the end of the second one? I don't remember. Forgive me. But I mean, at the end of the day, Portland wasn't able to do much. Diego Valeri was pretty much anonymous for the whole match. And at the end of the day, everything was just academic. Like, you know, yeah, they almost won, I think, with the scoreline that we predicted, or at least I did. I know you thought Diego Valeri was going to have a little piece of magic.
I thought he might get one, but he was just not. He wasn't even there, man.
Yeah, he wasn't there, and that's the thing. It's like the moment deserved something better, and I don't think the game really lived up to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. So it was a little underwhelming in that way. And then getting quickly back to Atlanta United, and I'm going to let you say your piece. I mean, Atlanta United's doing great things. And it's no fault to them that they went out and got Tata Martino, and they went and got Joseph Martinez and Miggy, as they call him, Miguel Almiron, and Villalba, and, you know, Ezequiel Barco, and now Pity Martinez from River Plate. I mean, dude, Atlanta United's like, yo, MLS, catch up. Like,
yeah.
On our level, you know? I mean, hey, the South has got something to say, and the ATL has just raised the game. You know, they put it up with the TIFO MLS 3.0. There is a part of me that's like, wow, these guys have just come in their second year, they've won a title. I don't know. I'm torn about it, and maybe a little bit of it, you know, I guess as a Galaxy supporter, I shouldn't have any problem with it. I mean, we got 5 chips over here, so we shouldn't, you know, be jealous or envious of anybody. But, you know, I look at the league as a totality, and all the other clubs that have been around since the beginning that can't even get to an MLS Cup or have never won it. New York Red Bulls, and Atlanta just kind of slapped all those people in the face, like, yo. We're gonna show you, you know, we're gonna show you the game right here.
Yeah, so. I agree with you, and I think that Atlanta is definitely, dude. Look, again, like you said, being a Galaxy supporter, you know, you're not really jealous of anyone. You know, you got your 5 titles and all that, but dude, Atlanta's fun to watch right now. They're explosive, man. Joseph Martinez, man, dude, MLS Cup winner. MVP and MVP of the MLS Cup final as well. Dude is just absolutely dominated this year. Well deserved, all the titles. And dude, you know what? Shout out to Atlanta United for having that picture with the strippers, man. I'm cool with that. I don't know, man. Like,
are you talking about I saw a video where there was like the MLS Cup was on the stage and some girl working over it or something, and I was like,
do what you do, man. Hey, you know, you won your title, you're gonna go out, you're gonna have a good time, you gotta bring that cup with you.
Oh my god,
I don't know, dude. I'm backing their play, dude. I think it's tight.
Hey, you know what, that's classic ATL. That's the dirty South right there. That's what's up.
Man, that's the kind of party you want to go to, though, man.
Oh man, that's how they do it, man. That's how they do it down there.
No, so good stuff anyway. But yeah, Atlanta United, man, they just come out, they dominate. They, again, like you said, they're just, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Miguel Almiron going to Newcastle. Although there seems to be some dispute and some kind of, you know, iffy stuff going on there, but it seems to be that it's going that way. And again, you know, it seems like they just continue to replace those spots. They lost Greg Garza to Cincinnati. But I mean, they're deep, man. They got a lot going on. But what about Tata leaving, man?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Atlanta United does to replace Tata leaving. They definitely need a big name to get back in there and to fill those shoes, because I mean that locker room's, you know, got to be pretty crazy with all that flavor in there. Maybe, I mean, I just learned today that Guillermo Barros Scalotto is leaving Boca Juniors. I don't know if he's a candidate for Atlanta United. He would make sense. Obviously, the Spanish speaker. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking players on Atlanta United, and you know, he's coming from Boca, and he used to play in the league, so he knows MLS somewhat. And to me, it seems like it would be an obvious choice, but I don't. That's just a bunch of speculation, and I mean, Atlanta's going to be a force to reckon with. They're here to stay right now. I'm interested to see how they do in CONCACAF Champions League. I want to see this team play against. That's what I'm really waiting to see. Like, that's going to be.
Yeah, that's I'm glad you brought that up, man. We're gonna have to definitely keep an eye on that, because that is those are gonna be some big questions, absolutely, when they're playing Tigres and they're playing Guadalajara and all this stuff, man. That's definitely gonna be a big challenge. A couple more things on the MLS. Zach Steffen signed to Man City. I mean, dude, I am all about it. I think it's wonderful that he's signed by one of the top clubs in the entire world. Again, he's probably going to get loaned out. There's no way that he's going to be taking Ederson's place. But, hey, man, European experience, it's irreplaceable.
Yeah, no doubt. As long as he goes somewhere where he's getting playing time, like I feel like he needs to be. They need to loan him out to a club that he's going to start. Honestly, like, I mean, if he's sitting on the bench somewhere in some club in Europe, like in a league that no one's really paying attention to, I don't think that does him any good. But for some guys, hey, they say, hey, you're going to Europe, get your money, because they'll pay you a lot more money to sit on the bench in Europe than they will in MLS. So I mean, I can't hate on that, but that kind of hurts his development. That's the only thing worry about as far as the U.S. national team.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeing rumors of Girona and La Liga. I don't really know what their keeper situation is over there, and quality over there very much, since I don't really follow La Liga very closely. But I'm in total agreement with you. I hope that he finds a club that he does start and he really does get true experience playing in Europe. I think that would be amazing for the U.S. national team, and it's really exciting to see this young keeper come up. I mean, he's made some incredible saves this last season. World-class saves. Obviously, that's why he's getting signed to Man City. I mean, you don't get signed to City unless you're world-class,
Yeah, no doubt.
So, you already mentioned this, Pity Martinez coming over from River Plate, who, dude, what a finish to Copa de Libertadores, dude. Like, it was an amazing game, man.
Yes, in a way that was, a more fitting final than MLS Cup, which I don't, forgive me, because I know there's going to be people like, yeah, you can't compare MLS Cup.
Not even close, right?
So forgive me if it seems a little sacrilegious, but I mean, we've been talking about this match. It's a shame that this match couldn't take place in Argentina, for the River Plate fans to see it in their stadium. Had to take place in Madrid, in Spain, in another continent. But I think from all accounts, it was a success in Madrid. They had a good crowd in the end. I was surprised how, I think there was 60,000 or more there. And the River Plate fans showed up, Boca fans showed up, and they had themselves a match, man. I mean, at times it was a little dull there, but once it started to get going, it really picked up, and River just, their class showed through in the end. And I know it had to be a bitter pill to swallow for the Boca players. To lose that match, like we said, the bragging rights for River Plate, to be the first in that Super Classico to win that title between those two, for the Copa Libertadores trophy, for the right to play in the FIFA Club World Cup, which is actually going to start on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And big ups to River Plate and to Boca as well, because it was a pretty good final.
I thought it was a really fun final. I really enjoyed it, man. And dude, eternal bragging rights, as you had mentioned.
What's quirky about the whole thing is that a lot more people saw that match because of the situation of what had happened than probably would have because if it had stayed in Argentina, I don't know. Like, I mean, Telemundo ended up getting the rights to it, and so, I mean, it was over the air. So I know a lot more people saw that match than, normally they would have. Like, they'd have to probably go look for it on a stream or something like that. They probably wouldn't have put it on TV. I'm not quite sure. I think Fox Deportes was supposedly airing the match as well, but that was kind of, I guess, a nice thing that out of this whole debacle situation, that, I mean, it, access to, there was an access for more people to watch this match than there might have been before.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Telemundo getting the rights was definitely good. I mean, I was able to stream it, and while I was doing stuff around the house, so it was. I don't know, man. It was an exciting game. Eternal bragging rights. You gotta be so bummed out if you're a Boca fan. And I will say, one thing that I thought was kind of funny though was Carlos Tevez coming on into like the dying embers. Like Boca fans are like, "Come on, one more time."
I know. It was interesting because I think because I mean, obviously it went into extra time there, and I mean, we all thought maybe it was going to go to penalties. I think Boca had played 4 subs, and I guess they have the rule in Copa Libertadores also. I guess they allow a 4th sub in extra time.
In extra time, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I kept seeing players going in and out for Boca. I'm like, how many subs is Boca allowed? Okay, I was like, I think after the 3rd one, I was like, well, I mean, Tevez ain't coming in anymore, and then he came in. I was
dang, Tevez is here. How'd you get in here, man?
I didn't think he was going to get in. Honestly, I think he probably should have put him in sooner, but...
I would agree with you, man. But anyway, so exciting stuff, all this stuff going on around the world. I have to say, like, man, soccer is so, football, whatever you want to call it, it spoils us, man. There's, like, always... an incredible game.
There's always stuff going on now with the way it is, with this game being so international now, with everything being connected 24/7. There's a match going on almost all the time, every day. It's crazy. I mean, it's very, very few days in the calendar year there's nothing going on. I mean, right now we have all the leagues in Europe going on. We have the Champions League. And now you're going to have the FIFA Club World Cup starting up, and the Liga MX Apertura final. I'm sorry, the Clausura final is going on. That took place tonight or yesterday if you're listening, obviously, tomorrow, which is Friday.
Friday, yeah. Today is Friday.
So that's going on as well. And, yeah, man, it's just... That's what we love about this game, is that there's something going on almost all the time, and it's lovely to see all the different flavors.
Yeah, total agreement, man. Well, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend. I'm excited for Manchester United, Liverpool. It's going to be some great stuff, and I guess until next time, enjoy those games and don't hate.
Don't hate.